Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're discussing Star Citizen's Race for Stanton Resource Drive event that has just come out in 4.2.1. Frankly, it's been very frustrating, extremely bugged, and somewhat... well, no, it's been a boring experience, at least for me. Mainly because lack of variety of missions, but we'll get to that in just a second. Before we get into the doom and gloom, because there's not too many positive things to say about this event, to be completely honest, I do want to share something positive. The Quantum Dispatch, the podcast that I'm part of that covers everything Star Citizen, is hosting an incredible CitizenCon watch party event here in the UK at the National Space Centre based in Leicester. The event will take place on October the 11th. It is a ticketed event, but the venue does have the UK's largest planetarium to be able to watch the live stream on. There's going to be goodie bags, mini games to play with giveaways and ships and all sorts of stuff. So I've made an entire video talking about that event. I implore you, if you're in the UK or you're going to be in the UK on the October the 11th for the CitizenCon event, the digital event they're hosting, we will be hosting this watch party. Go and watch that video. It's not an event you want to miss. But before you do that, watch this one, because it's all about the event, and I'm sure that's why you've clicked on the thumbnail. Now, the Resource Drive event is essentially a reskin of the Supply or Die event, but somehow it's even more broken than that event was. The core of the problem lies in its heavy reliance on gameplay mechanics that have been fundamentally broken for over a year, specifically freight elevators. But before we get into the freight elevator bugs and a couple of fixes that I can share with you today that hopefully will get you around the main bugs that people are seeing, there's some other things I'd like to talk about that have also made this event pretty unbearable. Firstly, the mission availability and variety, which I did just mention. Most players are only getting 4 missions, of which there's only 2 types that people are seeing. 3 of them are the cargo hauling missions for the small, medium and large hauls, and the last one being the mining mission, which isn't really a mission, you just track your minables that you collect. They're the 4 that people are seeing. However, there are also missions that were teased on the ISC episode about the event, like the bunker assaults and the ship protection and the cargo recovery missions from the derelict ship that's floating through space. These missions are either extremely rare to see or just completely missing. As of July 24th, 2025, at 8 PM UTC, these missions still aren't there. Now, I'm not saying all of them aren't there. The ones where you recover cargo from the derelict ships and the ones where you protect a ship, I've seen. Granted, they are almost impossible to get your hands on because before you can even click accept, they disappear most of the time. But they are there. The bunker mission, not a clue. Haven't seen it, not even once. Haven't seen anyone mention it. No idea what's going on with that. Now, there was an initial bug where only 1 player per shard could access the new event missions, which was quickly fixed. However, it feels like certain missions, like the cargo recovery ones I've just mentioned, still only appear for a millisecond before being accepted by 1 person per server. So this is still clearly a problem. This lack of variety contributes significantly to the event being boring. What makes that worse is when you have to do the cargo hauling because you don't have an option, and the freight elevators are broken. This is arguably the most frustrating part of the event. Elevators in both the personal hangars and the event landing pads suffer from persistent bugs. The personal hangar elevator bug that you're probably going to see is that you often can't send down your elevator once you've loaded it with cargo. And this is if you're at a space station like Everest Harbour or even down at your home locations such as Lorville, Orison, Microtech, wherever you are, you'll most likely see this bug. Now, there is a fix that my friend told me about, Carr, who I play with quite a lot. He mentioned that the workaround is only load the cargo a single layer at a time, so make sure there are no stacked boxes. As long as you do not stack a box on top of another box, you can still send it down. So my recommendation, and I would really listen to this if you're running this event right now, if you are using a medium-sized ship such as the Raft to run these cargo missions, which most people are using the Raft right now, the sales must have gone through the roof for the Raft of this event. Go down to your home location, such as Lorville, instead of using the space station. Reason being, if you request landing in the Raft at a space station or any other medium cargo ship like a Constellation, you're going to get a medium hangar. This is problematic because if you do get the bug where you can only layer your cargo one at a time, you can only send down, I think it's 9 boxes or 9 4SCU crates that you get from the large missions at a time. So you'd have to send it down 4 or 5 times, and it's very tedious, very frustrating, very long-winded. On top of that, you will have to request a landing at Everest Harbour and almost certainly have a longer waiting time than if you just flew down to Lorville instead. So it's going to be a lot quicker to just go down to your home location if you have a large hangar, and then use the extra large or the large freight elevator to put all your cargo on. The large ones can accept the entire, I think it's 45 crates of 4SCU for these large missions. So it's worth it. If you don't have a large hangar and the Raft is your biggest ship, then you're a bit out of luck. You're going to be sending it down 4 or 5 times. Blame CIG. It is what it is. Now, staying on topic of the freight elevators, we have the event landing pad elevators. CIG place these missions at tiny locations with limited pads and elevators. Often, one of the 2 main pads is completely broken, leaving only 1 or maybe 2 functional elevators for numerous players. This leads to extensive player queues, which, while a testament to the community's patience, is just simply unacceptable.
Oh my god, bro! What? What? Dude, that's insane.
Especially after several events that have happened before have relied on these core mechanics, and we're still dealing with the same bugs. So, I don't know how you're feeling about it, but these ongoing issues really highlight a critical problem for me personally. CIG must realise that these freight elevators and this content is pivotal for the event to succeed and actually work, and yet after multiple events the freight elevators are still broken. Now, my hope is that they will have more than enough data from this event alone to be able to iron out the bugs that are causing this, and hopefully we have some working freight elevators by the end. But if we don't, that's quite concerning, because they're never going to get more data than they are getting right now, with the hundreds of thousands of SCU being moved on a daily basis by all the players. Clearly, they work just enough for people to actually play the event, but it is a frustratingly boring process, made worse if you have a bug and everything disappears after you've spent 25 minutes to half an hour loading up your ship. And on top of all of that, adding to the frustration, there are some players out there that are intentionally blocking or jamming elevators, or just further hindering gameplay because they can, and they've got nothing better to do, I guess. Now, I've been quite lucky. I haven't really come across these trolley players, but I did personally lose an hour of my life due to the elevator bug in our personal hangars back down on Lorville, where at this point I didn't know the fix was to not stack the boxes. I tried relogging, and when I came back, they were shimmering. They'd all moved halfway out the freight elevator, and they were sort of respawning on themselves. It was a complete mess. I had to just chuck them all in the corner. And bugs like that made the loop quickly become a chore and less a fun gameplay loop to try and complete. This event really should have been the moment for Star Citizen to truly shine and become somewhat replayable, in my opinion. It would foster a sense of daily engagement and collaborative progress. Instead, this potential that the event had for impactful, universe-altering rewards and reasons to log in daily has sadly been overshadowed by technical failures and repetitive issues. So, despite all these significant drawbacks, there are some positives. Firstly, teamwork. This event has brilliantly highlighted and showcased the Star Citizen community's power. Players are actively helping each other load and unload ships and manage freight elevators, creating genuinely immersive and refreshing cooperative gameplay. Another positive, I would say, are the rewards. These rewards are including weapon skins, weapons, armor, ship paints, and at the end of the entire event, the store discount and the space station being named after the winning faction. This is brilliant. It's going to be really good. I do agree with Salty Mike. I wish they didn't tell people about the store discount, because of course everyone was going to pick Lorville because of the ship shop and the meta weapons like the attritions being placed there. I mean, not really meta anymore, but they're very good still. Being, sold at Lorville, everyone was going to pick that, because who doesn't want 5% off of pretty much any ship in the game within reason? and the attrition weapons, which are really expensive and very good. And finally, I would say the journal entry system is progress. It's really good. The progression tracker, it's clean, it's informative, and it's a positive step forward. It could definitely benefit with some more interactiveness, things that are clickable, maybe some tooltips, something like that would break down the information a little bit more, would be nice to see. So in conclusion, the Race for Stanton, the resource drive event, it was a good idea. It had solid foundations and appealing rewards. It leveraged a recipe that worked in past events with the supply or die that we mentioned earlier. However, it has been undermined by core gameplay mechanics that are simply still not working, and persistent bugs that we've dealt with for the best part of... Matters my dog. The best part of a year. He's obviously mad about it as well. Poor little puppy. So, for me, this is the most frustrating Star Citizen event that I've personally ever played. I plan on completing one faction's rewards, which for me will be Hurston, and then I think I'm done. I see people trying to go for all of them. I find that commendable. I can simply not fly back and forth delivering cargo for another 6 hours to complete the next. I just can't do it. It is... If the other missions get fixed with the bunker rushes and stuff, I'm there. I'll go and do that for Crusader or whatever. But simply, without the whole event working and the freight elevators being 50-50 if they're going to work or not, I can't do it. My hope is that CIG will learn from this, but considering this is absolutely not the first time that freight elevators have been the focus of an event and not worked, it's doubtful. If you design an event around core mechanics, please make sure those events work, and at the very least make sure the missions can be accepted by more than just one person when the event goes live. That to me and to I think most people really was troubling signs of the QA process for these events. And my biggest fear is that if the freight elevators are not fixed almost flawlessly after the ludicrous amount of data that will be gained by this event, I don't see them ever getting fixed, because clearly there's a fundamental problem somewhere. And if it's not in the freight elevator code, it's server side, which I think is 99% of Star Citizen's problems are server related. If these servers don't get fixed, this game will never be finished, because without a fluent, bug-free experience, the game will be unplayable forever. That's how I see it. It's such a shame. But, hey-ho, it's not the first time this has happened. I'm sure it won't be the last. As long as there's progress and a step forward on every event, then I'm still happy. That's the end of the video. I hope it wasn't too doom and gloom. As I said earlier, please don't forget to check out our CitizenCon Watch Party event. I still love the project. I still love the game. This is the first time I've made a somewhat negative video, I feel like, other than the Tier 0 stuff. I try and stay positive and just enjoy the gameplay, but sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. But make sure to pick up tickets to our CitizenCon Watch Party. That event is going to be incredible. There's going to be lots to do there. Make sure to check out the channel sponsors, Tobii Eye Tracker. You get a 5% discount if you use my link if there is no sale currently on, but they usually go on sale for like 15-20%. So check out the link, and if you're interested to pick one up, then there's almost certainly going to be a discount, whether it's through them or through me. Until next time, my next video should be a lot more enjoyable. I've been GFA. You've been amazing. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe. Peace out.